Hi there, guys. Adrian here, that of the geeks.
Val, Geek and Draining.
And I'm BJ, the handyman of this show.
And you're on Nerd Rage.
Oh my god.
I pointed. Oh my god.
I pointed eh.
It's okay.
And you're on Nerd Rage. The movie of the week came out. Hindi pala.
The movie of the season.
The movie of the year finally
Movie?
came out.
Yes, the most
The
anticipated
year
movie.
talaga.
Movie of the year.
Yeah, it's the most
awaited
anticipated movie of this year.
Di ba siya Christmas movie of the month?
Star Wars,
The Last Jedi. Obviously, from our get-ups and our props. And as I don't have a lightsaber yet, I'm using this wooden thing. I just made it sounds.
Weird. I don't have like a Star Wars shirt. I'm pretending that this is something.
Well, at least you have the lightsaber.
And this shirt fits with geeking shirts. So, you guys have seen it. We had a screening over the weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was really fun. Thank you for those who came over, and gave us their money.
Give us Christmas bonuses.
And thank you also to our partners, the
Yes.
Rebel Legion, the Pag-asa Base, aka the Philippine Base.
Neutral Grounds Philippines, Sperry,
Geekery
and
shirts.
Geekery Shirt.
Yes.
And
We gave away so many things. Gave away 500 GCs.
500 peso
worth
uh,
GCs.
discount cards actually, discount vouchers. It's not a GC. You get a GC. You get a GC.
We didn't.
Everybody get a GC!
That's
But that was fun to say. Finally, parang
Yeah.
bucket list check.
yeah. A lot of people have reviewed it online because
Yeah.
everybody's seeing it. So
All you people on social media.
yeah, we're not gonna
everybody's-
do that. We're not gonna do that anymore. Although we're still gonna touch on it. We're gonna be more on dissecting why it's probably the most polarizing movie in the entire series. I say probably very loosely.
Yeah, no. To be honest, after I saw it,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to feel.
Yeah. Okay. Just a little perspective. Adrian here and I are pretty invested in Star Wars, and of course our geek and training Val is not too much, but but of course she's still interested, so that's why she's a geek and training, right?
Here's the thing, Luke Skywalker has always been my hero since childhood.
Okay.
The first movie that I ever saw as a kid was Return of the Jedi.
Uh-huh.
So that was Luke at his most kick-ass prime. When I first saw Luke, parang yun na yun eh. I didn't even see the previous ones first. I saw Return of the Jedi with Jabba eating that little thing, which is a really messed up thing to watch. But yun yan, when I saw Luke, I was like, shit, I want to be that guy when I grow up. When I grow up, I want to have a lightsaber and swing it around.
And look at you now.
I still have a lightsaber. This is mine, by the way. Prior to watching the film, I was already watching interviews where Mark Hamill said that he told Rian Johnson, the director, that he wasn't totally into what Rian Johnson made or into the story that Rian Johnson prepared. I just thought, he's just an old fogey thinking old stuff. It's fine. And then they released the trailers, and they were saying that this is not going to go the way you think.
Which is true enough.
It really did not go the way I think. I really thought that Luke Skywalker was... Sure, he was going to be the cranky guy. Obviously, he was going to be the cranky old master in hiding. So I thought, sure, there's going to be a bit of that. And it did happen. But what I didn't expect was Luke actually giving up on Kylo.
Actually, not just Kylo, the Force itself.
Yeah, the
He
Force
gave up
itself.
on the Force.
It's one thing to hide, and that's what rebels are good at. Hiding first and biding their time until they strike back. But I just didn't expect Luke to experience resentment or regret. Actually, not resentment, regret for what he did.
Okay.
I didn't expect Luke to actually try to murder, or at least to.
In a moment, yeah.
In a
he
moment,
thought
yeah.
of it in a moment.
He thought of murdering his own nephew,
Yes.
which was something the prequel trilogy. Which was something the prequel trilogy Jedi might do. Mace Windu, diba? Hello, Mace. Windu.
Although Mace does have an excuse. He's a Vapid practitioner, which is kind of bordering on the dark side.
Yeah, but still, the dark side is the dark side.
Yeah.
I guess the Jedi excuse in the prequels was that they were a political force.
Yes, very much a political.
So you could argue that if you find out that the Sith Lord ran your government, you really have to go and exterminate him.
Yeah.
No, but of course we don't know if exterminating the Sith Lord would have turned Mace Windu to the dark side. Sorry, that was very racist. I couldn't help it. So it's something that the prequel trilogy Jedi would do, but it's something I didn't expect Luke would even entertain because, like Mark Hamill said, Luke was this pure guy. He had no prequel trilogy Jedi to guide him. Sure, there's Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan was then, he was one with the Force, so was Yoda, and apparently they're more enlightened now as dead people, so Luke should have had proper guidance, or pure guidance. But apparently it didn't happen. Luke Luke going through hubris, Luke thinking that he was, he was proud enough to be this legend, Luke being self-aware that he was a legend. It's something, again, that the prequel trilogy Jedi would think. I did not expect that.
Okay.
Well, maybe I should have expected Luke to die, but I didn't expect him to die without fighting enough. Well, sure, manifesting the Force, something that powerful that he did, the Force projection, took a lot. And as Kylo Ren said in the film, such efforts would kill you, or it would kill any Force user. Sure, that's fine. But I guess those little things, I just expected Luke to say, topple the walkers before actually.
You wanted a more epic showdown between
because
Kylo and the
we never saw
Empire.
Luke being really epic.
Okay.
We've never seen him being epic.
That's true.
Sure, Ryan Johnson said that Luke's hero's journey ended with the Return of the Jedi. Sure, but before this guy graduates from the series,
let him have a moment.
Yeah.
Because the action scenes only really intensified during the prequel trilogy, if you remember, because that's when lightsaber combat was in vogue.
Yeah.
So you wanted Luke to have that lightsaber combat moment where Yoda got his moment. Remember in the prequel trilogies.
Yes, he did.
And you just wanted that for Luke.
Yeah, just a small thing, no. Other than that, I was pretty okay with the rest of the film. I liked how everything's in different shades of gray, where even the rebellion wasn't exactly perfect, as we saw in Rogue One also.
Yeah.
The rebellion has its own internal mutinies, which we never saw in the original trilogy. So I like that. Although my general sense of the film was that it had many peaks and valleys, but there was no big peak. There's no major I'm your father moment, but it's fine. We should have never expected that, and neither should anyone in the first place. Because again, as Luke warned us, this is not going to go the way you think.
Hello, Storm.
Hi, Storm.
Join us.
Yes, this is us trying to get more viewers.
Look at this cute puppy. Anyway, so continuing with the conversation, I guess now that we know that it from your perspective of someone who's really invested in the franchise, what about you, Val? How did you find it?
Well, I don't have any attachments to any of the, to the movie talaga. Although I've watched all of the Star Wars movies. I haven't read the books. So that's the only reality I know. But for me kasi, what bothered me the most was, remember we always talk about that Marvel thing? And then, you said it was battles, and then it was, it was so apparent with Thor. And then, I saw it in Star Wars.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
And I'm like, and then I realized, baka naman it's not a Marvel thing anymore, it's a Disney thing.
Good point. No?
Good point. Very good point.
It was very noticeable. Because sure, the original trilogy had humor, especially the first movie, but it was very self-aware humor that was evenly spaced out. These puns are so gonna kill me. Evenly spaced out, again, very self-aware. That was because the actors found that what they were doing at the time was quite ridiculous, so they were just rolling with it. things became serious with The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
nagkaroon ulit ng humor with Return of the Jedi. So there was humor para strategically placed all throughout the original trilogy. The prequels, not so much. There was Jar Jar, but that's Jar Jar.
Yeah, it's a character. It's not something
They
na
tried to
would-
concentrate humor into one central character.
Exactly. Parang comic relief,
And look
diba?
at how that turned out.
Wait, I like him. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's interesting. Yeah,
It's okay.
she's not the first person to
Yeah.
say that kasi a lot of kids who grew up in the prequels did.
Yeah,
Like
very
Jar Jar.
Yeah, when I played the Star Wars game in PlayStation, I like meeting that character.
Why?
Wala lang, kasi he was Jar Jar Binks. He was the
Simple-minded Gungan.
simple-minded, exactly.
Yeah.
It's easy to absorb it. But yun nga, it's a comic relief, it's a character. And all yung from the wait, what do you call the trilogies?
The
The
prequel
one with
trilogy, the original trilogy, and
Sequel trilogy.
Which
Sequel
one is the
trilogy.
original?
The original trilogy is 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, so that's the
That's the New Hope.
that's the Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, the original one, it's yun nga, they're it's more mostly Han Solo the comic thing.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't break a momentum.
Right.
So yun nga when the scene is intense, it's intense. But with The Last Jedi, it was binabali nila like the scene with Kylo, parang does he really have to be naked or
And Hux.
topless?
Hux and Poe.
Yes!
Hux, H-U-X. Hold these hold.
Exactly that! And also with Leia.
Mm.
Like, why you have to look at me? Follow him. Like, really?
Yeah, but that part is very Carrie Fisher, so we can let that pass.
Okay.
But yeah, the call center Hux thing.
Well, I would understand that because he was trying to stall.
Yeah, that's true, and I guess that would have worked. But I guess we can compare that to Han Solo stalling
Yeah.
during A New Hope in that detention block scene, and Han Solo was screwing up, and that's fine because it's situational.
Yeah.
Then again, situational din naman yung kay Poe.
Exactly. So that's why I don't find anything wrong with that.
Wait. No, it was because of Hux's facial expressions. It's very Filipino film.
Oh, exactly. Like he was making fun. Obvious na they were trying to make the scene funny.
Okay.
But very good. Yeah.
So that's your opinion. So did you like it or not? Did you?
I don't. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't like it
Oh,
because,
okay.
syempre, I grew up with. I'm calling it super different. I grew up with the anime.
Okay, so
You're one of those people.
So you're the prequel trilogy.
Yeah,
thought
I
you-
grew up with that.
Okay, so you do have some sort of investment into the series. So
Yeah, but
Okay.
hindi siya yung rabbit.
okay.
And I'd fight people over it. I mean, I noticed the differences kasi like I said nga with one of my friends who was talking to me about Star Wars. What I like about the films, the different trilogies, is how it shows the different advances in film. Like iba yung treatments nila. Like for TLJ and this trilogies, ang ganda ng cinematography
Yeah.
compared to the other Star Wars ones. So you see the differences in technique. But yun nga, it's not so much jarring for me kasi I don't have investments in the characters of Star Wars. What I noticed lang are the little differences as the film has evolved. Siyempre kasi everyone went through that Star Wars phase where they binge watched all of the movies. So
Okay.
yun lang.
Uh,
But wait, regarding dun kay Luke, it really made sense to me why he disavowed the Force. It kasi nga parang if you were a mentor and you were responsible for spawning the thing that would ruin the entire universe, you would really want to kill him. But then it was he knew it naman eh. He was self-aware. He knew it na it was so a Jedi-like. And him cutting himself off from the Force. And yung explanation niya na Jedis are mayabang because they think they're greater than everyone because they have the Force. Oo nga naman.
Yeah. Actually, that was a very interesting perspective. one of the good things about that film was that they really reiterated that the Jedi weren't all that.
Yun nga.
And that was fine, but again, this is Luke Skywalker. He was supposed to be the upgrade. So that was my issue with that. Luke Skywalker was supposed to be the Jedi starting from scratch. And now it's Rey.
I wouldn't call it a reboot. Well, to me, it makes sense. Because I guess I just really look at it about how the Force works. Because remember, when Return of the Jedi happened and, Darth Vader's gone, Palpatine is gone, the Palpatine / Sidious is gone. It was just Luke, just the light. So it would make sense that someone from the dark would eventually rise up, and that was Snoke and Ben Solo.
Wait, speaking of Snoke, that was my other issue with the film. I liked the film generally, but that was my second big issue. Where the hell did Snoke come from?
Actually.
No, really. But sure, the internet has said that parang we didn't need to know about Snoke because back in the day, the Emperor was just the Emperor and all that. But that was precisely the point. In the original trilogy, the Emperor was the norm. The Empire was the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So all we needed to know is that the Emperor was there. He ruled the galaxy and he was bad and he needed to be put down.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need. In this case, especially with The Force Awakens, Snoke was the invader. Why is he invading the galaxy? Why does he need to rule? What's his purpose in life? We did not know this.
Okay, so
All
that is
we-
a glaring hole.
It is. All we needed was a couple of lines, maybe 3 lines, one exchange, that's it.
Exposition, some sort of exposition.
Yeah. Or the same way they casually mentioned that Rey was just no one.
Yeah.
Who are my parents? No one.
You are Rey from nowhere.
Diba? That's all. So maybe for Snoke dapat sana ganun din. But we didn't get that. That's a very glaring hole. But again, this is part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out the answers in the third
Yeah,
movie.
soon enough. Actually, there's the other thing that I see that the fans are complaining about, or there are some things that they don't see the sense of. Like one big example is Rose Tico, and their scene in Canto Bight with the introduction of the new character DJ.
What? Who?
DJ, the Codebreaker.
Oh!
Sorry,
Yeah. To me, a lot of fans are complaining about, yes, it did increase the runtime of the film, and I agree with that, but I guess I'm just looking at it from a trilogy perspective that perhaps it would make sense in the next movie. That's how I'm thinking, so that's why I'm not complaining about them. I mean, more characters are always more fun to me, more character dynamics to explore, other things that, could offshoot to other subplots and stories. So, to me, I'm not complaining about that. Although, I guess this is, we're already dissecting on why it's quite divisive, because not everybody is looking at this as a trilogy, and they're looking at it as a film per film thing. And I think it's because it started with The Force Awakens, wherein The Force Awakens is pretty much a remix of A New Hope, as I would like to call it. And then suddenly, this film gives you something entirely different, which I actually appreciate. Well, I guess it's already obvious that I like the film. I'm one of those people who are invested in this franchise that actually loved The Last Jedi, and I would even rate it pretty much equal to my favorite of the series, which is actually Rogue One. To me, Rogue One, yes. Yeah, you put a sock in it. Yes, I still think that Empire was great. I still think that. But Rogue One was just... Maybe it's because I'm just looking for something different. And that's why I appreciated Rogue One. And that's why I appreciated this. Because I wanted something really different and new. And that's what I got. And I guess that's why the other fans don't like it, is because it just didn't line up with an expectation, which I also understand.
Yeah. I should take this opportunity to admit, to out myself to everyone.
Yeah.
Well, then again, my friends.
What? What is this?
Kaya pala ang galing mo mag-makeup.
as I was trying to say, kasi you said your favorite movie was Rogue One.
Rogue One, yes.
In my case, my favorite Star Wars film will always be A New Hope.
Okay.
People say, because Empire Strikes Back is the best film and all that. Sure, but the Empire Strikes Back I think only works because of the context laid by A New Hope.
Yeah.
On
That's
its
true.
own, the Empire
I would
Strikes
agree.
Back sucks. On its own.
Because the Empire won.
Yeah. Diba? Parang, you end a movie like that, tapos, ano na? Diba? Wala eh.
Yeah.
Same thing with The Last Jedi. Basically, this film ended with the First Order winning and starting a new empire.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Kylo Ren becomes something that his grandfather wasn't able to do, or wasn't able to be. Anakin wanted to rule the galaxy, but he ended up being Darth Sidious's lapdog for 30 years. No, but Kylo Ren was actually...
Is actually now the leader of the First Order.
And I guess the galaxy, because the Republic is gone. They decimated the capital, So yeah, no? Yan, yun yung background ko. I loved A New Hope, and that's why, yun yung basis ko as to how I see Luke Skywalker. But having said that, The Last Jedi is a very riveting film. It is...
I think everyone can agree to that it was pretty riveting.
Yeah. That hyperspace kamikaze
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Oh, that was so
Oh my
beautiful.
god.
Diba?
That was so
Ang ganda.
anime, man. That was like
Yeah.
Oh.
One Punch Man.
Totoo!
And it was so beautiful na tahimik din yung moment of the film. So everybody in the cinema were like...
Everybody
Talaga
just...
silent.
Everybody just sunk in the cinema. Everybody just, just savored that moment.
Yeah.
It's like, silence.
Yeah.
And everybody was dead silent.
Diba?
You could really... That shows you how, the impact of that scene visually is like, you are just stunned and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Although, I have a beef with that moment too.
Can they
What?
really do it?
Huh?
I mean, is that even allowed?
Well, they can actually. That's why ang weird kasi in The Force Awakens, you could apparently they showed that they could hyperspace
Into a planet.
Yeah,
that's
or
what Han
onto a
Solo
planet or out of a ship. Before kasi in the books, or at least in the old books, it was established that you can't do that in proximity to an object because it would just destroy the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently now you can. What Holdo did was she hyperspaced through the ship, therefore destroying that and the entire fleet.
Actually, because when they go to hyperspace, they're actually not material. But if you're close enough, that gap, that moment wherein you slip from real space into hyperspace, that is when there is the most force.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess Holdo just knew what that distance was.
Yeah. She was near.
Yeah.
Pero yun, my beef there was not that moment because it was a great moment. But my beef was that moment belonged to one of the casualties of the war, which was Admiral Akbar.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, it's a trap.
Yeah. Because he died
He
earlier,
died,
diba?
yeah. He just died in the bridge.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the thing,
yeah.
Yeah, diba? Naging ano lang siya, naging iced calamares.
Yeah.
Mon calamares.
One color.
Before nung nag-Mary Poppins si Leia.
Yeah. He was on the bridge.
He was on the bridge. All of their leadership was on the bridge when it was destroyed.
Diba?
They should have given Akbar a moment as
Yeah.
well.
So yun. Kasi otherwise, ano yung role ni Holdo? Oh wait, mutiny. But you could still have given that role to Akbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still gonna give it. Akbar just disappeared.
Yeah, diba? In fact, in my head, meron akong moment for Akbar, diba? So Akbar gets left behind on the bridge, and then he activates the Navi computer, and then right before he presses jump, he says, "Now this is a trap." So it would have the same effect.
Yeah, and it would have been a fitting end for a character that's been there
Diba?
for
Then you go,
so long.
Akbar, you're back!
Yeah. And so it would be his new legacy aside from It's a Trap.
Yeah, plus that ship was a Mon Calamari
Yeah,
cruiser.
Mon Calamari.
Named Radus, after the Mon Calamari officer in Rogue One. There's a lot of things polarizing about it, but yeah, those are the main points. how are we going to process it? Again, it's really hard to give any definite answers right now. Sure, the internet is talking about it. Great for you, Disney. But we'll find out whether it's really good or it's really bad when we watch the next film.
episode 9.
Yeah.
Episode 9, which will be the final movie of this trilogy and how everything will end.
Yeah, and it will be shown in 2019, December 2019. Unless J.J. Abrams delays the date again, like what he did with...
So really, it all boils down to, to the psyche of the fan. It's like, how invested he is into Star Wars, or at least what aspects of the franchise, of the Star Wars franchise. He said, like you're invested in the story of Luke.
Yeah.
Me, I didn't really mind it that much because my sort of hooks on the series were in many different things. Like in the original trilogy, yes, I was also invested with Luke, but not so much. I liked The New Hope, I liked Empire, I liked ROTJ, and even though Empire is the best, I think that A New Hope and Return of the Jedi weren't that far off from, I think. And then with the prequel trilogies, I was invested with during that time when they expanded the universe and put in lightsaber combat, all of these, all the 7 forms, all of these. I was very invested in that. I practiced that in the CSB library. I went to CSB. They had the Star Wars visual encyclopedia.
Yeah, it's still there.
I would read that during my downtime. I would just read that, focus on the lightsaber combat pages, and that's how I got invested in the in the prequel trilogy. So my investment in this new one, it's all fresh. So to me, I'm just enjoying the ride, and it's been a good ride so far, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, I have zero, yun lang. My comments are that, I don't have any investments at all with any of the trilogies even though I grew up
With the prequel trilogy.
with the prequel one. Well, it's not, I grew up with the original ones, but I was too young to kind of understand it.
Okay.
So when I was old enough to understand the prequel diba? The Anakin arc.
Yeah, the prequels. Yeah.
The prequel trilogy.
The prequels, that's when I started watching the original ones. To give context. Ganun siya. But again, I like the film because it's visually stunning, especially the scene in the planet. What's the name of the planet with salt?
Crate.
Crate.
Planet Crate.
It's beautiful. I like the fact that it turns red.
Yeah,
And it's
so
very depictive of blood. Tas ang ganda.
Yeah, and on top of it is salt for the fans.
Exactly.
Salt. Although I like why they did that.
Why?
It's to highlight the battle between Luke and Kylo.
Right.
Because remember, Kylo, if you look at the movie, it was focusing on the footwork of Kylo and Luke. And then it showed that Kylo, whenever he would change his footwork, he would grind the salt and turn the ground red. Luke did not. So it already gave the audience a clue that Luke is not there.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, there were a lot of clues. I noticed, why is his hair dark again?
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
looked thinner.
And he looked like,
younger.
and it was like a callback to Return of the Jedi.
Right.
That black suit, although it's not exactly, it's just reminiscent of it. And
And the lightsaber.
the lightsaber, when I saw the saber, wait, doesn't Rey have that? And then I was like, and then I saw how the salt was grinding and Luke was not. Okay, there's already something wrong. And of course I didn't call it out. I just knew that there was something wrong. And then when it was revealed that he was all just force projection, force illusion, I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah, but interesting for long time Star Wars fans, especially the ones who read the old expanded universe, now the Legends line. The Skywalker pamangkin, the Skywalker nephew turned Sith Lord, the female protagonist, Luke Skywalker using force projection, it's all in the Legacy of the Force
Yeah.
arc of the books. So people have been speculating, parang are they mining the books? and
Actually,
just
I would
twisting
even
everything
think that
around?
they're going back to the original concept of Star Wars, wherein it's Lucas Starkiller, a female protagonist.
Yeah.
So, it's all right. I guess we could all really just wrap this up with one thing that we need to remember. It's okay to love Star Wars. It's okay to hate it. I mean, it's not a zero-sum game. Just because somebody hates it or somebody doesn't like it doesn't mean that I can't love it. Right? Or in the same way that but just because, I love it doesn't mean that you can't hate it.
Right.
We all have our own opinions. Yes, go ahead, post it online. But, it's just, we just have to defend our points nicely, civilly. Have a good, clean discussion. We don't need to fanboy over everything.
At the end of the day, it's just a movie.
At the end of the day, it's a movie. It's a movie that's meant to entertain us.
Yeah, di ba internet? Yun lang, it's alright to love it, it's alright to hate it.
It's alright to love it, it's alright to hate it. It
You
doesn't
don't have to
diminish.
choose a side, okay?
Yeah, di ba? Look, the characters in the film show sides, look what happened to them. Di ba? Come on. Guys, let's all just get along. It's almost Christmas.
Time.
Plus, that's what you went to school for.
That's true.
Sure, we went to school to dissect, to learn, to have opinions,
To have opinions.
but at the same time, we went to school to be educated people and to converse the way we converse in the classroom. Okay? Then again, I'm a teacher, so that's how we think.
Yeah, it's okay. Star Wars, The Last Jedi, I loved it. They have reservations about it, and that's totally fine.
And you can love something, but not like specific parts. Oh, that's true love.
And that's the spirit of Christmas.
That's where nilabas ng gitara. You wish.
It's Merry
Christmas and a happy holiday. This season may we never forget the love we had for
Jedi.
And with that, I'd like to bid you Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, guys. This is Adrian.
Val here.
And BJ.
We are on Nerd Rage.